Welcome to Lead with Hope, the podcast where we explore the power of hope, leadership, and resilience in today's world. I'm Brandi Kelly, and each week I will bring you stories, insights, and actionable advice from leaders, innovators, and changemakers who are using hope as their compass to navigate challenges, create positive impact, and inspire others to do the same. Whether you're a seasoned leader or just beginning your journey, this podcast is here to remind you that no matter the obstacle, hope is the fuel that can drive transformation. So let's dive in and discover how you can lead with hope. Today, I am honored to have Amanda Younts. She is a leadership and personal growth expert known as the Midlife Catalyst. With over 20 years in education, advocacy, and psychology, she helps leaders navigate meaningful change through practical, holistic strategies. Amanda's authentic approach makes her a sought-after speaker, trainer, and podcast host. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thank you for having me.
So we usually start out with, each guest's story. And so that's where we're going to start today. What inspired you to transition into this work that you're doing today?
First and foremost, in anything I do, I'm an educator. A third generation family of educators. So it's everything I do. But what I found throughout my career is that so many people really did lack the hope and the confidence and conviction in themselves to go forth. And so for me, my personal journey really took a turn around 2017. My parents, like I said, who were educators and recently retired, one right after the other, were diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And I lost my dad in 2018. I lost my mom in 2019, and then the pandemic hit. And sitting at their bedsides and being able to see the impact they made on students and over the longevity of their career, but also seeing, in education, we're told you're in it a lot of times for the retirement, right? And I saw two people that really didn't get to enjoy that retirement. And for me, it became a shift in that I'm going to live now. I'm going to use their deaths and those experiences to help me live. I had one of two ways to go, and it was either going to be destructive or improvement. And I saw it to follow my intuition and my voice. And, it took 5 years after that to kind of get my resources in line and confidence and really decide what I wanted to do. But that's how I transitioned into where I am now, of spreading my message and my story, along with helping others share their lived experiences and using those as a catalyst for change and growth.
Oh, I love that, Amanda. And, life is fragile, isn't it? We are not promised tomorrow. And I learned that early in life with my brother drowning at 15 and my mom, she had cancer as well. And she died when I was 24. And so those experiences taught me exactly what you're saying. You've got to envision the life you want to build and then go build it. Right. And it sounds like you are providing perspective for people in that education space to be able to do just that, build the lives they want to live.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So with that, it kind of leads me into the next question. The system of hope that I talk about is built on, first and foremost, habits. And so what intentional practices do you teach to help people to build that life?
I start with core values at the heart of everything I do, because everything is individualized. That's the educator in me as well, in that, what I need, and my habits and routines are not going to work necessarily for someone else. And so I don't run a prescriptive program. I run what the individual needs based on core values, their motivating factors, their strengths, previous experiences, be it not only work, but those lived experiences,
Right.
to then help them identify what habits they can build. I'm a huge believer in atomic habits and 1% better every day. Habit stacking. What are you already doing that you can build upon that? A big one for so many of us in this space of working remotely and being at our desks all day long is those exercise snack breaks that you don't have to have an hour before work or after work to carve out to go to the gym. What you do have to do is set those alarms, get up, stretch, move about, reset your mind, and kind of then start to build those habits that it's ingrained in your daily routine. And then you're going to find more success.
Yeah, Amanda, you're speaking my language. I love James Clear and his work on habits and habit stacking and systems. And it is so true. One of the habits that I feel strongly about is meditation. Every day, starting your day with a practice like meditation, just to be present, to set an intention, to start your day off the way that you want it to go. And from there, personally, I've habit stacked and I've added movement. And I feel a difference whenever I am able to successfully do those things when I start my day. So are there specific habits that you find especially helpful for you?
For me, I am a huge journaler. I love to start my day with basically kind of a mind dump of all of the things, often followed by a bit of meditation to get to, like you said, set those intentions. What is my focus for the day? Not so much my goals, but what is my focus? And absolutely getting in some movement to get my mind right in the morning is 100% part of my routine, along with usually a protein shake and water. The food feeds and nourishes the brain as well. So I have had to work on coffee intake early in the morning so that, I'm ready to go and I don't have those midday jitters. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Habits are so powerful. And oftentimes we find that we're living life in a default mode and we need to be more purposeful and set those intentions. So powerful habits that you shared. So along with that, whenever you are working with your clients, do you find that you're usually working with leaders in high pressure roles, or what's your ideal client?
Yes, often high pressure, extremely busy, right? Middle-aged kids, grandkids. And so having routines that can easily be obtained, that it's not something else to do, that it's something that is enjoyable. Really, that like the exercise and the movement. What are things we already do? We, break the leaves, plant in the garden. What kind of things can we then turn into that physical exercise so that it's maybe not the intimidating gym membership or, an extra thing?
Yeah.
And a lot of course, my clients are highly driven and motivated and, much like myself, overachievers. And so really working on stepping back. And this is something I've had to do, of moving away from that long-term goal of running a marathon versus what can I do today running a mile. And celebrating those daily gains and wins, reflecting on that at the end of the day. So in addition to my morning routine, I have an evening routine where I actually do the 3-bullet gratitude list and very simple things, but it's amazing how having that positive mindset really helps me to sleep in a more relaxed state of look at what you accomplished today.
Absolutely. And for me, journaling at the end of the day, that mind dump at the end of the day helps me to sleep better because I'm not waking up then at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning thinking about all of the things. And so, with those kinds of habits and those kinds of activities, do you find that there are specific things that are high leverage to help your clients stay hopeful and optimistic with that optimistic outlook that I talk about?
Tracking the wins. I still keep and encourage people to keep a good old-fashioned handwritten planner because you can see those small incremental steps that you've made towards your ultimate outcome. Other kind of high leverage is, and I say this, in regards to journaling and meditation, because a lot of times people will shut down. They think, meditation is just a silent breathing, and that journaling is handwritten. You can use pictures as your gratitude journal. It doesn't have to be handwritten. You can use a visual meditation or even a physical one outdoors to motivate you there. And so getting individual with the person and their needs as opposed to enforcing what works for me is key.
Yeah, I like that individualized piece there because, like you said, as educators, that's what we are finding works well with our kids. And just like our kids, we have to meet our clients where they are and then grow from there. So that's great advice. With your purpose, Amanda, I say that purpose is the reason for the journey, but passion is the fire that lights the way. And so with that in mind, what really lights your fire? Is there anything that you're working on right now that really lights you up?
I love writing. I am in the process of finishing up a memoir, which has been quite the task. But when I can share my story and different lessons I've learned along the way, more so as what not to do or advice I received that really I'm glad I didn't follow that and follow my own intuition and my own gut that got me to where I am today. So that is absolutely my passion. I just finished a month-long really series of working with organizations on their employee wellness and well-being. Very simple strategies like we've discussed here today to help organizations be able to have a more positive, inclusive culture.
We need that connection and that community more now, I think, than ever, because people are isolated, they're lonely, they need that sense of belonging. And unfortunately, I think our cell phones are a lot of the reason. Technology, while it is a tool and it has its great things, just like today we're able to do this virtual interview, but it does, if we allow it to, by not setting boundaries that are healthy, it can definitely foster that isolation. And we need those wellness tips. We need to take care of ourselves because we are very important. Each and every one of us matters. Our story matters. And when we tell our story, we foster that connection piece.
Absolutely. I tell people, Zoom and cell phones and technology help me in so many ways to find my communities and make those connections. I love, being able to hop on these calls, but then so to take it another step further. What I really love is, hey, I did this Zoom. Let's meet in person next month. Finding where your people are, that you have commonalities, and then building in that social connection that gets you off the device and into true connection is huge.
Oh, absolutely. And we need more of that social connection in our lives because I do a lot of research around the habits and the systems and brain science. And social connection is one of those things that helps to rewire your brain and helps you to heal and to grow. And we need other people. We need other people that are going to lift us up and encourage us and make us better. So that's definitely, you're speaking my language once again. Now with the excellence piece, excellence, I say, is a lifestyle. It's not a goal. Like you said earlier, with James Clear's quote, getting 1% better every day. So when you think about people in education or organization, especially those leaders, in order for them to move from being hopeless to hopeful or from burnout to breakthrough, what would you say to them in regards to the first step forward to build that excellence piece?
The actual first step is taking a step. And I'm sure you know, I have seen many beautifully written strategic plans and personal development plans, all of those things, and that's all they are. Is there's something on paper, they're compliant, they met that goal, but it's not the actual what you do day in and day out. And so it is the actions that you take. And as a leader, taking care of yourself and modeling that for others is huge in really setting the tone for your organization, for your school building of it's a healthy culture and climate. And then validating, helping your staff feel seen, heard, valued, respected, like they belong, gets the movement going on that action. And people are going to be willing to actually give more and achieve that level of excellence because they have the faith and trust in you as a leader. It's the human side of everything we do. You know, again, it's moving off of the device and it's moving out of your office and into connecting with people.
It's so simple and so hard at the same time. Why is that?
I think we get so bogged down. There's so many, you know, I had a great superintendent once talk about those trivial many versus the vital few, and shifting that perspective to make sure we're focusing on what's vital to the organization. That takes a great deal of confidence and sometimes making other people upset when you don't immediately respond. So it really is about setting up those boundaries and kind of the expectations of how you're going to operate.
Definitely. And that clarity, compassion, connection, it all fosters the wellness that you work so hard to help your clients achieve. So I am grateful for you today, and I'm grateful for the wisdom that you've shared on the show. If somebody wants to get into contact with you, how would they go about doing that?
midlifecatalyst.net is my website, and that links to really all of my email and social media. I'm pretty much across all platforms as Midlife Catalyst.
Amanda, I am grateful for you for being on here today, and I hope we can stay in contact. I love the work you're doing, so keep sharing hope with the world, and I will talk to you again soon, I hope.
Yes, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for tuning in to the Lead with Hope podcast, where we share stories and strategies to help you rise, lead, and redefine what's possible. If today's episode inspired you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more leaders like you who are ready to lead with heart, purpose, and resilience. Don't forget to visit sparkhopeedu.com for resources, upcoming events, and tools to help you build a culture of hope in your life and leadership. We're so grateful to be part of your journey. Until next time, keep leading with hope.